Opening hook. He stood in the middle of the crowded cafe, eyes trembling, voice cracking as he looked at the stranger across the table. "Please," he whispered, desperation dripping from every word. "Can you pretend to be my wife for just 1 week? My daughter's birthday is in 2 days, and she thinks her mom is still alive." If this scene already touched your heart, make sure you stay till the end, because what happens next will move you to tears. And if you love emotional stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Now, let's begin. It all started on a cold evening in late November. Daniel, a widowed father of a 6-year-old girl named Emily, was sitting alone in his car outside a small cafe. He looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes, hands trembling around a half-empty cup of coffee. Ever since his wife, Claire, passed away 2 years ago in a car accident, Daniel had been struggling to hold everything together: his job, his emotions, and most of all, his daughter's happiness. Emily was a bright little girl, full of questions and imagination. But as her 7th birthday approached, Daniel noticed her growing quieter. She had started drawing pictures of her, mommy and daddy together, and leaving them on his pillow every night. And then, one evening, she looked up at him with her big, innocent eyes and asked, "Daddy, can mommy come to my birthday this year?" That question shattered him. He didn't have the heart to tell her the truth. She already knew, but her tiny heart still hoped. He smiled weakly, hugged her, and said, "We'll see, sweetheart." But as soon as she went to sleep, he broke down in tears. He wanted her birthday to be special, to feel like her mom was still part of it, just for a day. But how? That's when fate stepped in. The next morning, as Daniel stopped by a cafe on his way to work, he accidentally spilled his coffee on a woman's notebook. She gasped, clearly upset, but when he apologized, her frustration melted into an awkward smile. Her name was Lena, a young woman new to the city, trying to find work as a freelance artist. She had kind eyes and a quiet sadness behind them, something Daniel instantly recognized, someone who'd known loss. They talked briefly, and Daniel learned she had no family nearby and was struggling to make ends meet. As she gathered her things to leave, something inside Daniel clicked. It was a crazy idea, one that made his heart race with both fear and hope. Before she could walk away, he said, "Wait. I know this sounds insane, but could you pretend to be my wife for 1 week?" Lena froze, half smiling in disbelief. "Excuse me." He explained everything, about Emily, her birthday, how she still believed her mom might come back. He wasn't asking for romance or a lie to the world, just a week to bring a little joy to his daughter's fragile heart. Lena stared at him for a long moment, torn between confusion and empathy. Then, softly, she asked, "Are you sure this won't hurt her more?" Daniel nodded. "I'll make sure she understands later. But right now, she just needs a little light in her world." Something in his voice moved Lena deeply. After a pause, she agreed. "Okay, just 1 week." The following days were awkward at first. Daniel introduced Lena to Emily as mommy's old friend, who had come to help decorate for her birthday. But Emily, with the innocent perception of a child, instantly took to her. She hugged Lena's leg, calling her Miss Lenny, and giggled as they baked cookies together. For the first time in months, the house filled with laughter again. Daniel watched quietly, his heart aching and healing at the same time. He hadn't heard that kind of joy since Claire's death. Lena's kindness, her patience, the way she knelt to listen to Emily's stories, it was almost too perfect. As the birthday approached, Emily's excitement grew. She asked Lena to read bedtime stories, brush her hair, and even help her write a birthday wish list for mommy. Each night, Daniel found himself standing outside Emily's room, listening to their laughter, and silently thanking the universe for sending Lena into their lives. But as beautiful as it was, the lie began to weigh on both adults. Lena started feeling attached to Emily, and even to Daniel, whose quiet strength reminded her of the family she'd lost years ago in an accident. She knew the week would end soon, and the thought of saying goodbye broke her. On Emily's birthday, the house was filled with balloons, laughter, and the smell of homemade cake. Friends from the neighborhood gathered, and Emily was the happiest little girl in the world. At one point, she stood between Daniel and Lena, holding their hands, and said, "This is the best birthday ever, I wish mommy could see us right now." Lena felt tears fill her eyes. She gently knelt down and said, "Sweetheart, your mommy is watching you. She's proud of you every single day." Emily smiled through her tears and hugged her tightly. And in that moment, even Daniel couldn't hold back. He turned away, pretending to adjust decorations, but his shoulders trembled. When the party ended and the guests left, Daniel walked Lena to the door. Neither spoke for a long time. Then Daniel whispered, "I don't know how to thank you. You gave Emily, and me, something I thought we'd lost forever." Lena smiled sadly. "You don't have to thank me. She gave me something too, a reason to feel again." But before she could leave, a small voice called from the hallway, "Miss Lenny." Emily stood there, holding a drawing, of herself, Daniel, and Lena. "Can you stay a little longer? Maybe, be my mommy's friend forever." Lena's eyes filled with tears. She looked at Daniel, unsure what to say. He stepped closer, his expression soft and vulnerable. "Maybe we can figure something out together," he said quietly. Weeks turned into months, and that one week of pretending slowly became a new reality. Lena didn't replace Claire, but she brought warmth back into their lives. She helped Emily heal, and Daniel found hope again. One evening, months later, as they all sat watching the sunset, Emily looked up and said, "Daddy, I think Mommy sent Miss Lenny to us from heaven." Daniel squeezed Lena's hand and smiled through tears. "I think you're right, sweetheart."